Welcome again to Unilove family. We are so happy. We're so excited. And we just shared in our last video how we celebrated, getting to 1,000 subscribers. It's been a journey. It's been, it's not been easy, but it's also been funny and interesting just to get into that space. And today we are happy. I know Vivian will share a bit about what's happening today. But for now, welcome to our channel again. And Unilove Sisters is all about
empowerment,
relationships, lifestyle, and
wellness,
health and wellness. So today we are all about relationships. Wow, it's gonna be hot here. It's already hot actually.
Yeah.
We are sweating, but it's gonna be hot literally. So yeah, stay tuned. Please don't move away. Go and grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, juice, but I don't think you need a hot drink because it's gonna be hot. So you better grab a cold drink. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Hilda, for that. So like Hilda said, today we have a very, very special guest. And this guest is a very good friend of ours. Yes, so Mr. Robert Burale.
Thank you for having
me. We
me.
are very honored to have you with us. Yeah. So Burale, like I've said, is a very good friend of ours, and he's been with us from the time we started. I don't know if you can remember, Burale, when we reached out to you and said, we want to start a YouTube channel. And then you were like, okay, good. So what is it about? Content. So from that time, it just occurred to me, before you start, you must have content. Of course, we explained to you what it will be all about. Okay, so I remember when we did our first video, and we sent it to Burale to have a look at it before we can, of course, post it on YouTube. With fingers crossed, what if he doesn't like it? What if he says, this is not something that, but we are happy. You've been with us, you supported us, you've always worked with us through this journey. You've been a real coach and a mentor.
Thank
We
you.
celebrate you, and
It is a
today we
pleasure.
celebrate you.
Awesome.
So thank you for being with us. And like we mentioned earlier, our topic of discussion today is on relationships.
Wow.
So what else can we discuss?
What else?
I've never done relationships before. I do politics.
So politics and relationships.
Yes, and relationships. Good.
Okay, so thank you, Burale. So we are honored to have you here. And before we even go to that relationship topic, please tell us, how much were you paid? The government.
Depending on which blogger you listen to. But I think the highest said 20 million. I think the highest said 20 million. I wish I had the 20. I would have paid everything here. Well, I wasn't paid.
Okay.
It was something that happened. I got sick. But in this social media age, you have very creative people who want to get a lot of traction on their blogs and their pages. So they will say things that may stir up controversy. And unfortunately, in this time, I was on the receiving end. But you roll with the punches. You move on. I recovered by the grace of God. I come back stronger. And besides the noise, there are many people who get in touch with me who tested positive, asking me for advice. How did you handle this? So out of the pain came out some level of ministry in that area.
Yeah, of course we can laugh about it now, because we know for sure you will never.
Yes.
We were in touch and we kept praying for you.
Thank you for the prayers.
We fasted for
Yes.
you and other people.
Wow.
The other people who were critically.
So as others were abusing me, some were fasting and praying.
We
Thank you.
dedicated a specific day, we prayed and fasted for you, and so when people were throwing stones, you were just like, oh God, you know what? But like you're saying, I
even saw your comment defending me publicly.
Yes,
I saw those things.
For this thing, if you've not had a close family member or friend go through it,
You can take it for granted.
you can take it for granted.
Let me confess. When it comes to relationship, I've done always.
And she thinks
But one thing they always talk about it, they're like, you're always giving people advice, but you are single. I said,
that
Tell them what I tell them, the coach doesn't play.
the coach doesn't play.
you have to play.
The coach doesn't play. Yes.
No matter how we want to do it.
That's a good way to start it. I guess I guess we will just dive straight into our questions.
Okay.
Seven time.
Right.
And Robert, I think I'm so excited. I had this question and I kept saying, wow, when will we start this show?
Right.
For me, the first question that I want to ask is, what do dating couples need to discuss before anyone can say anything? What should they discuss?
Right. There are very many fundamental things that must be discussed in dating or courtship that will hold or break a marriage if they ignore. You must discuss finances, vision, sex, finances, religion, vision, and sex. Those are very important parts. Why am I saying finances? Finances, aside of in-laws also break relationships. But finances play a very major role in relationships. Religion is important because the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? So there must be fundamentals that you must agree. Sexuality is important because marriage, sex plays a big part. It's not the main thing, but it plays a major role. In marriage, we cannot ignore that fact. And you must discuss families. You must put some boundaries, because sometimes when you get married, your mother comes and stays with you for 6 months, the guy's father comes for another 6 months. That can break. You understand? So you must enter into marriage having put some things very clear. You don't ignore, because if you ignore, the other person will defend themselves by saying, but you didn't tell me. I didn't know you'd like it this way. So why finances? Finances, is it our money? Is it your money? Are we going to help your family? And if you help your family, do I have an input? If I help my family, do you have an input? Those things are of paramount importance. Because when you're single, you can support your family without really consulting. But now when you get into the institution of marriage, then it's no longer your sole decision. If a man is to decide, I want to build my mother a house, to be honest, it's only fair that you discuss with your wife. Because the finances are now owned by the family. You understand?
Fantastic. And do you think it's important to talk about how many children you want to
Yes, that is very key.
Joking. And this
Yes.
one or like this one of sex, people have to discuss sex. Like for us, you're like Christians and all that, especially in religious areas.
Right.
What are they supposed to discuss? Because when you say discuss sex, people must practice sex.
Yes. You know, the
You should be
Bible,
having 1 to 3 times a week.
the Bible mentions sex.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
does,
not,
yeah.
yes. The Bible even
Which one
describes,
does
listen,
Which one does
Oh,
it
yes,
use?
Song of
coming
Solomon.
together.
Song of Solomon.
What the Song of Solomon
Song of
say
Solomon.
talks about the breasts and the lips of a woman. You understand? In quite clear. I mean, you not mistake. It's not revelation. It is clear upon clarity. So why is it important? I'm not saying you practice it before marriage, because if you do it, you're breaking the foundation of your marriage. But discussing, you know, for me, you can say, listen, I have a very high threshold. Yeah. Now, for example, I'm a lawyer man, for example. Of course. You know, you have to make this thing. Yes. You cannot just go. So, I even tell pastors, even when you are doing premarital counseling, sex is an important part in premarital counseling. So discuss, these are the likes and the dislikes. I like it, you know, for me, I can have it in the morning. I'm a morning person, I'm an afternoon person. Let's get into this thing knowing very well.
And I agree with you as a married lady, a married woman. I think it's something that people ignore, yet when it comes into marriage, it's something that you really need to talk about.
Absolutely.
You have to talk about it, and let me just put it as it is. Even after the action itself, you need to learn to communicate and say, I enjoyed it, I
Don't
did
just
not
know.
like it. Don't just, so it's important you start, but and you can be open to share about it if you started doing your courting days.
Right.
So before you got married, then you were open about some things and you could share about it. So when
Yes.
you get there, it's not like something you're introducing,
Right.
just really want to eat.
Yes.
So to help your marriage.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Perhaps, Burale, I think we have looked at it on an angle of Christians and all that.
Right.
So the question is, what about the other population of the other
Who are
young
not born
couples
again.
who are not born again, and they just find themselves in this union. They are already married, and they have realized, hey, my partner is doing it. Maybe it's poor in bed, blah blah blah. What can they do about? They're already in it.
And many are caught in that situation.
But sex does it not religion, no? Whether you're a Christian or not, I think there are principles.
Yes, there are principles. But what she's saying, many are caught in that situation. So what if you started doing it before you got married, and then because you're in courtship, and then you discover he is not as good, she is not as good. This is not what I expected. So do you up and leave? You know, you may up and leave and get a worse player. You understand? So one of the advice is that there are many ways in which you can seek help. We did something some time back with some doctors, and things like, for example, impotency, erectile dysfunction. There are ways in which you can be helped. In fact, they say for men, a greater percentage is all psychological. So seek help, exhaust all avenues before you make a decision. And remember, what if you get married, sex is beautiful, and then one gets an injury and cannot perform? Do you up and leave? They must be based on the value system. But I will not dilute the fact that sex is important. If you're married, and I tell people who are married, enjoy it like nobody's business. Madam, you're married. One day, swing from the chandelier. Yes. Your weight allows, you can swing from the chandelier. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that, because it is important to do well as a couple when you're raising children, when you're going on holiday as parents, when you're going to church. But now when the two of you come together to worship each other, you must also enjoy each other.
So while we're still at that,
Yes.
So we've seen this is something that I think is happening a lot currently.
Right.
I don't know if it is called the current situation or times have just changed. So most couples, you start putting love, things are nice, things, you communicate well, you're so tight, then the time it just fades. Now people are just living like housemates.
Right.
So what should couples? Yes, what can couples do? To keep their love and their
To spice
to
up.
Yes.
spice up their marriage.
It's because people stop dating when they get married. You must continue dating when you're married. You must decide once a week we'll be going out, the kids there, take the kids or let the kids stay with the house manager, dress up and go out on a date. Don't stop dating. It's not like because you got married, that's an pattern. So I'll just najiachilia. You understand? So don't stop dating. Continue to rekindle the fire. Go out on holiday. Never lose the urge to be playful. The things that brought you together are the same things that will keep you together. If I loved you because of your smile, please smile more. If I loved you because, oh my goodness, when I look at your eyes, yes. Build on that. Communicate. So you know what? When you are 90, let your heart be 20 when you're 90. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, age catches up with people. You may not have the power of a stallion that you had when you were 35 and 40. But the fact that in your mind you still have that connection, even in your old age, you will still enjoy each other's company. The moment a man starts looking at his wife as my mama nani, then I will not look at you as an object of desire. So don't lose your identity or your individuality because you brought forth children.
Then for us, we are like ladies, and then sometimes we give ourselves advice. We go sometimes to these bridal showers, and people are talking. These women are talking. Of course, we respect that they're talking from experience and wisdom, but some of these things we just realize that I think maybe a man should tell us, because they're just out talking things that are not adding up. And what are some of the few things that men would want to tell ladies that they don't know?
Now, number one, I know some of this. Remember, not all, and I have to be very careful as I answer this. Some of these people who speak in what do you call bridal showers are there for business.
Yeah.
So they will tell you things, but they don't even believe in it themselves. The only thing I would tell ladies, and this may sound crazy, you may have 50 different love-making positions. You may be as flexible could be. A man wants one thing: respect.
No disrespect. We always
Now,
say,
I'll
but
go back to
she's
it.
not submissive. She's not respecting
No.
her.
Many use the word submissive to hide and bash women. No. And if a man, and I'll go to explain what I mean, and if a man feels respected, even if that woman comes with 2 different styles on, that man is happy. You may come with 100, but if I don't feel this, it's just that I may provide everything for you as my wife. But if I don't give you love and protection, that counts for nothing.
Let me ask this, and this one I'm asking on behalf of Sylvia and Sharon and the people in their camp.
Yes.
How many dates should a man take already before they can propose? That's the first question. But the second one, if a man is literally spending on a girl, showering her with gifts, money, should that girl conclude that now this is my man? I mean, he's already viewing me as a wife material.
That can be right, but also the biggest lie. You may be one of many. That the man just maybe has some good financial elasticity.
They're even paying the girl's rent. I mean, when she's
How many girls?
The man bills her out.
How many girls are being paid for by rent? They're rent by sponsors. A man who wants to marry you, yes, will spend time, money, resources on you, but that should not be the thing that will underscore that this man wants to marry you. When the man starts speaking to you on serious terms about future and is open to you meeting his family. If the man cannot be comfortable with you meeting his family, you should be worried. I don't care how many cars he buys to you. You should be very worried. Men, when a man wants to marry a woman, he'll be very clear. He'll be very clear.
I don't think nowadays they are.
50
Most
ice
of
cream
them are
dates.
not.
Then that means they don't want to marry. Yes, those are not ready.
That's very true.
Yes.
But again, they're not. I think men are not coming out to tell you.
Yeah.
See this man. Maybe he's always with this lady. He's taken, and that's why I think why you asked after how many days. He's taken her to all these restaurants.
In Nairobi, they have explored.
They view
They have viewed all the
restaurants.
everywhere. They can go on road trips
Yes.
and all this. But he's still not, saying.
I blame both the men and the women.
Yeah.
You, what are you
The guy
doing?
doing that
What are you doing for 2 years? Are you a wine tester? You're going to every and you're not even saying anything. Tell the man, I need to know where you're taking me. You either tell me we're heading somewhere or we're not. But if you give him husband benefits while still at the boyfriend stage, he will enjoy and then move on. And then you know what? Many women get hurt because for 3 years he was with me. He left me, met somebody else after 6 months, they got married. You as a woman, why is a man taking you out for 3 years? And you're not even asking. It means you also have no vision. You have to stand and tell the man, hey. And remember, and this may sound controversial, remember, the body clock for a man and a woman are different. At 60, a man is still in the field. You understand? I'm making some points that many people like whispering about. So as a woman, do not allow a man to take advantage of you and wasting your time. Some people have done it for 5 years. What are you doing? 5 years, let me show you how long it is. It's a presidential term.
In fact, on our previous video of relationship, I quoted, is it an undergraduate course someone
Exactly.
is taking?
Yes. After 5 years, a president can turn the economy of a country. What are you doing? 5 years.
You see now, the way we are bringing in our culture, and especially if you're a church girl, we've been taught to be, submissive and all this, and a man has to propose to you. And this, maybe it's something like a point of discussion that we need to.
Yes.
Most people need to understand. And that's why we're finding very many single ladies growing old and in singles ministry for 10 years, 15 years. Because they've been seeing this guy, he's looking, he has potential, he's been hanging around me. I'm waiting for him, he's not saying anything. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So as a lady, you're waiting for him to, maybe propose or say something, and they're not saying. And then time is, and like you're saying, for a man and a woman, it's very different. So in that case, I get what you're saying. For a woman, you should also respect yourself,
Yes.
know what you want, and if it's not working or if it's not saying anything.
First and foremost, let me look at the camera. If you're in a singles ministry for 10 years, shame on you. What are you doing? No.
It's by choice.
It is by choice.
No, it is by choice.
Trust me.
Especially with one person.
But also you church boys. Stop quoting too much scriptures without action. Oh, it is well. It is not well. The woman is burning, you're burning. Paul says you'd rather get married than burn and last in the Bible. So what I'm saying is, 10 years, what are you doing? Don't allow also women in church get it wrong by saying, I'm waiting on the Lord. I'm going on a 40-day fast. Then you are a principality in being in a wedding committee, but you're not getting married. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this, if you see a man wasting your time, and wasting your time is the man does not seem to want to go to the next level, tell the man, listen, I don't see you taking me anywhere. Allow me to leave. And men need to understand, women have been wired to lead. That's why Adam came and then discovered his garden, and then Eve was comfortable enough to help Adam till his garden. So as a man, you'll be very foolish to expect a woman to be your helpmate, and yet you do not know where you are going as a person. So I want to urge all the men, even in church, the ladies are crying. Nobody's showing leadership. That's why now you ladies are going outside the church. In fact, the biggest evangelists in church are women. And not because they are preaching the gospel. They are trying to get men and lead them to Christ so that they get married. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also to add to what Burale has shared, as a lady, I feel when you're in a relationship and you're probably feeling I'm at that point of getting married, you should also be keen and have a voice.
Yes.
And speaking from experience, I think I had dated a few guys before finally settling to this particular guy.
Yes.
But at that point, I had told myself, you know what, Hilda, the next relationship that you will get into, that man should define. In the initial dates, what he wanted to be like. So I was very keen on the first date.
Did the man define?
By the way, he was on the
That's
first
why you're
date.
married.
He was so clear, I'm not looking for someone to win, I'm looking for a wife. And I said, first confirmation. So at least as a wife, as a lady, you should get to a point where you're starting to say, you know what, the next person I'm dating, you better be clear, otherwise you should just leave my life alone. So Sharon, before you even start dating, is that friendship stage, of course. So you've been in a group together with a couple of friends and you've met with this guy, and he's never probably hitted on you, but those ones that he's just trying to hint kidogo kidogo, and you feel like, oh, he's a good guy, and he feels the same about you. But there's that first date, for example, that initial date that he will take you out and say, you know what, can we have coffee? And you're also feeling, it's not in a crowd, it's just me and him. So on that particular date, you should listen to what that guy is talking about. Yeah, you should be keen to hear, what's your vision, where are you going, am I the only person? And in that conversation, you could pick that. So for me, I had said and I had purposed, in that initial, or probably in those initial dates, I want to hear what this guy wants to in life. So I feel like it's very important. So as a lady, you have a very big part to
Absolutely.
Another thing that, you're saying about these dates now, let's go to these dates. The people I've had, some people say they've gone for this one date with someone, maybe they've chatted over the phone for like even 6 months. And immediately after this one date, face to face sitting down, the person never came back again. Or even just to say, thank you, I had to So what are some of the basic things that maybe on a first date, on the initial dates, like if people are single, can discuss, what can you reveal about yourself, how do you carry yourself? Because I saw even another video that I was sharing with you of this lady that she was having a good time, and then she removed her wig, she removed her shoes, and she was dancing, but she's having a good time. So what are just simple etiquette protocols, what to discuss to reveal about yourself?
The Bible is very clear, says wisdom is a principal thing. Now removing your weave is not wisdom. That's like it could be a horror movie, you never know. The first date, you also don't scare the man or don't scare the lady. Don't go and start saying, I want 7 children. Okay?
But I used to be a serious alcoholic.
Yes.
Now I am
Yes. And the lady saying, you need to meet my father at 4 o'clock tomorrow. The man will take off. You understand? So the first date, just be easy. Talk about the things you love, your hobbies, alright? Not necessarily deep into relationships. Don't discuss your past relationships. Now, some of the things you need to avoid, don't come showing off about your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend. You'll now intimidate this man or already put him on too much pressure, and the man will take off, or the woman will take off for that matter. You can't start saying, I need you to meet my family, but you can give hints like, you know what? I am not here to play games. It is my desire to be in a serious relationship. It is my desire. Not that you have to be my wife, you have to be my husband. That is my desire. And if the other person's desire connects with you, you can bet your bottom dollar there will be a second date, there will be a third date, and then there will be a committee. But people come, oh, you know what? When I used to have sex with my boyfriend, I used to feel things standing at the back of my head. You understand what I'm saying? So those are very off-putting things. Your religion, your religious beliefs must also be on the table.
Sure.
I would not hide the fact that I am born again. I would not hide the fact that I am a preacher. You understand? So that they know from the word. You also have to say some of these fundamentals that are of absolute importance. But don't go on these funny things like, okay, so what is the color theme for our wedding? No. The man will never call you again, or the woman will take off. So understand, just be easy. I love this kind of movies, you know. This is the kind of music I like. This is where I work. I used to work here. Just bounce it off like that, so that we get to see how your personalities can gel.
Wow, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter.
Burale, there's this other batch of ladies that assume this guy is dating people. And they're even sharing with their friends. They're like, oh my gosh, do you know us guys are going out? And the day the guy gets to hear that, he's like,
what are you talking about? Yes, let's get our
Sometimes I think the guy must have shown some interest.
what are
really?
the something? By the time the girl said that, what are some of the things that the guy has been doing that are trying to make the girl make her believe?
It goes both ways. I will not apportion blame on one. Some men send some signals. The moment you call a woman sweetest every day, you're telling the woman, because women are watered by their words, even when you read the Bible. You know? So, sweetheart, darling, I miss you. Those are signals. And the woman will know, this guy is feeling me. But having said that, there are women who misuse a scripture. The kingdom of God suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. So, and some of these people have been confused by some wrong doctrines that they are told, take the man's photo, download it, print it, put it somewhere, put a bow tie, and start claiming that as you, that man as your man. That is now what we call white collar witchcraft. My personal journey, I was married to a very good woman. I will never sit anywhere and say anything bad about her. But things that will make you break up. Number one, and I want everybody to hear this, so that when you get married, you understand this. Be very careful who you allow into your marriage space. And I'm talking about some of these friends. Sometimes those are the ones who act as if they care, but deep down they're actually jealous of you. So they will not be objective in their advice. They will tell you things to make sure you part ways. So when you part, they have something to celebrate in private. But two, never stop being friends. Never ever stop being friends. The day you stop being friends, you can be sure the divorce door is open. Number three, when there's a disagreement between the two of you, don't fight from opposite sides. Fight from the same side. You have one common enemy who wants divorce to happen. So always remember, you are not fighting to see who will win the argument. If you do that, then that means there's a winner and there's a loser. Come and fight from one side and face that invisible enemy that doesn't want you guys to get together. Friends, please hear me. Anybody watching? Friends, family, you have to be very careful. I'm not saying family, immediate family, no, I'm talking about extended. You have to be very careful.
So like that is very important. Even our mom always tells us that again and again. So it's just something that we're getting clear. But so what friends, especially ladies, they find themselves talking like some will say, no, my boyfriend just gave me this money. No, my boyfriend is planning this and this and this. So what are some of these? You can maintain friendship with your friends, but you cannot disclose anything. So what are the limitations when some ladies are talking?
Very good point. Very good point. Very good question. I'm not saying don't talk. We are relational beings. So, and you ladies, it's only fair that you talk. You love talking. But today you go and tell your friends in a group, oh my goodness, my husband yesterday, he's like a horse. You're advertising him for free. The same ladies will be in his inbox. Your friends will beware. Ladies inbox. So you can talk about general things, but don't go telling the ladies the way your husband is stressed. There are people, men and women, who go and abuse their spouses on social media. I know, I'll give you a personal story. A personal friend who's broke up with his fiancé and she went and abused him and kumwanika social media. The shocking thing is, half of her girlfriends who are abusing the man on her wall were in his inbox. Today as we speak, he is engaged to one of the ladies. So you expose, you expose yourself, and you think everybody cares about you, but they're pretending they just want to know where can I hit, what are the weak points, and then the man that you saw ostracized is given love by somebody. Oh, my husband, he just wants sex all the time. How can I do 3 times at night? Then a woman says, inbox, I desire a man who can do 6 times. Working based on the things that you say, but she will not go and say those things. She will come direct, and you wonder. Then you go to your pastor, pray. Oh, my marriage is under attack. No, it is your big mouth. Yes, big mouth is dangerous. Yes. Yeah. So marriage is a good thing. Even as a divorced man, I advocate for marriage. But even for men, stop getting excited by slave queens and ignoring your wife who stood by you when you had nothing. You know, I've seen many cases where a woman stood by a man when he had nothing. When he gets a few shillings and a nice car, he starts carrying slave queens in the car. And they leave women. Yes.
So we've seen how you pray, how your relationship with Lexi, and I know you, of course, you separated with the mothers, you don't live together. So how can parents co-parent or bring up kids still with good morals and values, even if they're not together,
right,
and even if they are together? Yeah, because we've seen even kids who have both parents living together and they still go south.
Number one, parents have become too busy investing for their children and not investing in their children. We are buying them phones, we are buying them gadgets, so we are buying them presents, but our presence is not available. Now, you are telling your kid who's done something wrong, I will punish you. And what is the punishment? I will change the Wi-Fi password. What is the punishment? You will not have pizza next week. What is the punishment? Stand up and face the wall for half an hour. Now you are telling her to face the wall. She loves twerking, so she's used to facing the wall anyway. So there is no punishment there. There is no punishment there.
In fact, it's entertainment.
So we need to get back to the place of old type of parenthood, where we inculcate the right values. Taking the phones away will not help. Put so much values that when they come across these funny sites, because of the values that are put in them, they will not fall for them. Now, in a situation whereby two people are separated but they have children, one thing you must understand, you as grown-ups may be separated, but when it comes to parenthood, you must be one. But I've seen cases where the man takes the baby and says bad things about the mother. When it's the time for the mother to have the baby, the mother says bad things about the father. Now, I don't care what happened between the two of you. To the children, both parents are their heroes. And the moment you keep on doing that, you are sending some signals in them. And they start blaming themselves. Am I the reason that my parents broke up? Now, you may not see the manifestation because they could be young. But when they get to 15, 16, 18, you start seeing some not so good tendencies in relationships. Because they are looking for something that was lacking. As parents, be one. You may be separated, but when the kids are together, when you're coming together for the kids, be one. Please respect each other. But I feel bad when I see people abusing each other. Now, how can you abuse each other Yet one day you lay naked together to bring these children forth.
In law, we always say for the best interest of the child. So
Best
you leave your
interest.
differences aside
Yes.
and then just come together for the best interest.
And couples that go on social media to abuse each other. Internet never forgets. Your children will grow
They
up
will
one day.
read those posts one day.
And also, like with this new generation, we have a lot of so many blended families.
Yes.
So what are some of just basic, if someone wants to be part of this blended family and all that, because we have so many blended families, what can you say about the new clothing up there?
Blended families, it's a very intricate but beautiful thing if you understand it well. If you as a man marry a woman with a child or children, her children become your children. Yes, their father is alive. You're not saying deny the father access, but your children become, her children become your children, and your children become her children. So if maybe you get married and there are 3 or 4 kids together, blended, you must show love to all of them. You punish this one, punish that one. Now it's sensitive when the child of your spouse makes a mistake and you have to punish. It can be decoded as because I'm not your biological, then you're punishing me. Now what happens is the biological parent must now tell the child, listen, he has my support, she has my support in this punishment. Because it's now up to the parents to make the children understand that we have come together and I have given my spouse the permission to be 100% parent in love and in discipline. Otherwise, you raise bitter children, they'll feel rejected, and they'll start calling their parents, their biological who are not in the family, and say they're doing this, and then you start having altercations, abusing each other, and then it hurts the children.
And also, I'll just ask one last one. Most people assume that divorce is easy on men than women. They'll say like, a man can go and get other women. No, like, even if a man is bereaved, like in 6 months he has another wife and it's understood. But a wife does that's so fast. So, like, can you say it's not easy even for men going through divorce, and also for families that they have a chance to mend their ways, because the people feel like, oh, I need my freedom, then we go. Where they're going, is it really freedom because you're out there? Is it
Or is there something they would have done to salvage that?
You know what I tell people? Divorce is like a death. During the case, you throw hands, oh, yeah. The moment you are given that document, a part of you dies. And like when you look at me, whether I like it or not, I will struggle to try and run away from the title divorcee. There are people who will always use that to hit me. Now, I do not advocate for divorce as the easiest option. If you are going to divorce because you want freedom, you will be disappointed. But having said that, and I know this is controversial, there are situations that will arise that you may have to leave. If there is physical abuse that may threaten your life and nothing seems not to change, if there is crazy infidelity and many other things, like for example, honesty. If a man comes and says, for 3 years my wife has refused to give me my conjugal rights, or the other way, it's also dangerous. We are flesh and blood. Yes, but divorce is painful. Divorce is very painful. Don't look for the divorce as the easiest option, as the first option. But then if it happens, I never judge a divorced person. When it happened to me, I would understand. Before I judge anybody, there are reasons that can make somebody walk away.
So Burale has been kind enough to share with us.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing, I will be giving them out on our social media pages, on our YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. Please watch and follow us. Like our page, comment, then we will see who will give them the book. I've read this book, Burale.
Yes.
And I remember when I read it, Actually, I didn't put it down. I
Yeah.
started
And she did it in one sitting.
in one sitting. Then when I finished, I picked my phone and asked, how can you write your entire life like
I
this?
know, right? I remember very well.
How can you write your life like this? Yeah, but it's a very, very interesting book. So to those who will be lucky to get, we will give you the book. And those who will not be lucky to get it, you can still buy. It's available. So how can they get it?
It's 1,000 shillings. Whoever wants, let them get in touch with you people, and then you'll get in touch with us. We shall, in Nairobi, we deliver for free. Outside Nairobi, we will just have to charge you the courier services as well.
Okay.
Yes, but let them get in touch with you, and we will avail the books.
Thank you. So it's 1,000 bob for those who want to buy. Get in touch with us, then we'll
I think we can leave an email on the description box so that
For
Right.
for easier communication.
Okay. So we will do that, yeah? So as we wind up, Burale,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Your parting shot.
My parting
I'm leaving this place.
Oh.
Like,
Me too.
like I've attended a seminar. It doesn't feel like I'm
Actually,
into the topic.
Yeah.
And maybe before you say
Right.
that, we hope to invite you again on this show. So
Yes.
if people have questions, any question that you may have on relationship, please put the comment on our comment section on YouTube, and we will invite you.
No, I will come. You guys are very important to me. So just know I'm part of you. So I will come. My parting shot to the single people. No one has ever died for lack of sex. But some people have died because of sex. No ringing, no tinging. Do not keep Thailand closed. No visa to Bangkok. To the married people, marriage is beautiful. It's a good idea. It's a God idea. But to everybody in general, today as you're watching this, you're one day closer to your death. Every day is a day closer to your last day. Nobody remembers the kind of car Nelson Mandela drove. Nobody knows the kind of watch Martin Luther King had. But if you say the long walk to freedom, you know who we're talking about. If you say, I have been to the mountaintop and I have seen the promised land, you will know who you're talking about. Let your life count. My last question is, what will we remember you for? God bless.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, it's like a summon to that point.
I should say also subscribe.
Yes, Burale, I wanted to ask people to subscribe.
Please, guys, anybody who follows me, follow these great sisters. One thing I admire about you people is the closeness that you have. But the fact that you just love to develop. I was seeing her, she's the lawyer of the family. I think I saw the photo. Yes. And it's just, please support this lady. The problem sometimes, we don't like supporting each other, but support these ladies. You have seen, this is, I'm sure there will be some, all your things on the screen. So bring this, all these things on the screen, on their Facebook, on their YouTube, please share this and share this broadcast and let people watch and let people get blessed. Be like a beggar telling the other beggars where the bread is. If you don't follow them, buy people. If you follow me and you don't follow them, I'm coming after you. Please follow them and you will be blessed.
Thank you, Burale.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy, viewers. Bye. Love you. We appreciate every kind of support you're giving us.
Asante.